Hare Krishna, Namaste. We have an interesting question. Question is, if a person is always fearful for anything and everything, that is because of his swabhava, his nature, which is right from his birth. If it is that person's swabhava, then how can we ask that person to be fearless? Is it not that this nature that he has comes from his karma? Is it not that the karma defines one's nature? If so, then how can a person change? This is the question, but let us extend this question further before we can get to the actual answer. The question that has been raised is directly towards fear, but it can be extended to someone who is always in angry mood, someone who is in anxiety, or someone who is always greedy, someone always envious, someone always hatred, or someone harsh spoken, or someone attached, and this list can go on. It's like a fragrance of a flower is within it. Likewise, certain nature a person has is within him right from the birth. Therefore, one may say those characters, since it's there in a person due to that person's karma, then that means such person who are fearful will have to remain fearful for rest of their life. Those who are angry all the time will have to remain angry for rest of their life. In such case, there's no point we give advice to them to give up their fear and anger. Please understand, we are just discussing the question still. This is not the answer. So, only possibility to get rid of such fear and anger is when all my karmas are cleared. Otherwise, it is not possible. That means neither I can change from my character, nor I can ask someone to change their character, because it is simply because of one's own karma, for which one is helplessly behaving in certain ways. If my nature is defined by karma, then it cannot be changed, so we don't need to waste our time in trying to change our nature. We just have to accept and just live with it. The question is, it's not a matter of whether we accept and live. It is going to impact the people around us. We may accept it, but others may not. Let's continue the discussion on the question. If my karma defines the level of intelligence, the knowledge, then how much ever I study, I'm not going to increase my intelligence, because karma has set it. If my karma has defined my health, then why should I worry about exercising and having proper diet? So you can see why this is an interesting question. It is because that question can be extended to any extreme cases. One may even say in Gita, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says one who has given up the anger, fear, desires are my devotee, and he is the highest of all jnani. We often hear advices from others saying, don't get angry, don't be fearful, don't be in anxiety. But if that person is born like that due to his karma, how can he be free of anger, fear, anxiety, desires? And why even Krishna is mentioning several times in Bhagavad Gita to give up these things when it cannot be? We hope the question is clear. It took almost 5 minutes just to explain the question. But in short, if my behaviors are due to my karma, then I cannot change it. If my behaviors are not due to my karma, then why I am like this and someone else is like that? So the short answer, karma does play an important role. But let's see the long answer. First thing we need to know is that if such things like bhaya, krodha, that is fear and anger, cannot be changed, then there wouldn't be any necessity for the scriptures, because the scriptures are full of instructions that tells us what to do, what not to do. And especially Krishna wouldn't have spoken to us to give up lust, anger, greed, fear, and so forth. Why will he, Krishna, simply waste his time and also our time by giving such instructions where nothing can be done about it? Since such advices are given to us repeatedly, then we must know those things, anger and bhaya, or anything for that matter, can be changed. Even the karma itself can be changed. That's the first understanding we must have. What's the first understanding? Since there are instructions in the scriptures, since Krishna is giving us instructions in Bhagavad Gita, that means those instructions are applicable. Now let's understand that karmas are of two types, niyata karma, aniyata karma. Niyata karmas are the ones that comes upon us by some great rishis, curses or blessings. And such curses or blessings will be executed on a particular time and in a particular place. These karmas are set, whereas aniyata karma are the normal things that happens in our life. Such karmas do not have specific time and place defined. If I am sneezing, it is not specific to a time and place. It happens, but it is part of karma. As I sneeze, as I suffer, my karmas reduces. Because I have karma, I suffer. These type of karmas are called aniyata karma, whereas the other karma, which is fixed, are called niyata karmas. And nowadays, hardly we can see sages who have the power to curse or bless. So majority of things that are happening in our life falls under aniyata karma. Niyata karma cannot be modified. It is set. But if the same person who cursed us or the Supreme Lord wishes, it can be changed. But we ourselves do not have control over niyata karma. But the aniyata karma, we have some control over it. That means we can change our nature that has been set by our karma. So this is the second understanding. Though karma plays a role in our nature, in our swabhava, we can still change it because it is aniyata karma. Now let us get to the technical details. Though it is karma which has given birth to us, it is not the karma directly defines one's personality. To be angry or to be fearful. Rather, the development of one's character is caused due to chain of events that happens through multiple lives, which becomes our vasanas, impressions. Our karma gives birth and defines the level of knowledge and level of ignorance that each one of us has. And because of the karma, our sattva, rajas and tamas are also set at the time of our birth. The cause of fear is due to rajoguna and tamoguna. Anxiety, expectation, greed are all cause of one's anger and fear. And for those who has less knowledge, jnana, or improper jnana, will have anxiety, desires, greed, pride, arrogance, etc. So, lack of knowledge or improper knowledge leads one to all these different things, which again further leads one into a fearful state or in an angry mood. So, Rajoguna and Tamoguna are the cause of our anger and fear. And Rajoguna and Tamoguna are at their peak when we have improper knowledge, or if we don't have proper knowledge. That means these anger and fear can be easily dealt if we address the root of these problems. That is, we have to reduce Rajoguna and Tamoguna, which means we have to increase Sattvaguna, and we have to cultivate proper knowledge with bhakti. The bhakti is very important along with the knowledge, because just by knowledge we may not have the strength to deal with negative forces. So when a person is in proper knowledge and bhakti, that means he is already situated in Sattvaguna. Even though we all come with certain percentage of these three gunas and certain level of knowledge, with our free will we can modify that configuration within us. And such things becomes very easy when we are in the association of saintly people with the devotees, and when we get engaged in devotional service. Therefore, even if one says that it is my swabhava, we don't need to live with that swabhava. We can change it. The more that we develop bhakti, the less we will become fearful. The more that we get engaged in devotional service, the less we will be fearful of anything. The more that we chant the names of the Lord, the less we will be fearful of anything. The only way we can get rid of bhaya, fear, is by developing bhakti towards the Lord through proper knowledge. Proper knowledge is very important. One may develop bhakti towards the Lord but may not have proper knowledge. So the proper knowledge is nothing but understanding the truth of Atma, truth of Paramatma, and truth of this material world. When we start learning to see the events of our life through the eyes of scriptures, our bhaya will vanish. When our fears are gone, then we will become brave and happier. When one has fear, one cannot be brave, one cannot be happy. The fear comes when we turn away from the Lord, when we forget our real position as servant of the Lord. So the point that we are trying to drive here is karma certainly is a reason for our swabhava, but it is a distant cause. But the one which is very close to us in proximity are the three gunas, which can be handled, controlled through proper association, proper cultivation of knowledge, and of course with proper diet. If we do that, the impact of our karma through the negative characters will automatically be addressed. Therefore, no need to think that it is not possible to change one's character for better one. Let's take an example to make it easy. We know that the sun produces heat, especially in summer. It's really very hot, unbearable heat. We can simply keep blaming the sun. By doing so, it's only we who get burnt, because the sun does its job. It not only does for one person, it does the way it does to everyone globally. So we can continue to blame the sun, or we have another option to do, which is we can shield ourselves from the sun by holding an umbrella above us? Likewise, we can keep blaming our karma for our wrong behaviors and wrong characters, or we can hold on to the lotus feet of the Lord and pray to Him to help us to become a better person. If we do that, the Lord will reduce the impact of our karma upon us. With our sincere effort of wanting to change, and with the help of Lord's mercy, we can become free of anger, fear, anxiety, and so forth. One may ask a question, well, if my Sattva Guna, Rajoguna and Tamoguna are set at the time of birth, then where is the question of me cultivating good knowledge, developing bhakti and so forth? We must know we have all these three gunas in us. That means Sattva Guna is included in us. Whenever our Sattva Guna is prominent and Rajoguna and Tamoguna are low, we must take advantage of that period and get engaged more spiritually. As we continue to make use of that period of Sattva Guna, then gradually the influence of Rajoguna and Tamoguna will reduce and Sattva Guna will become prominent in us. And during that stage, we must also tell our mind that by performing bhakti, my anadi kala karmas will get destroyed. This bhakti keeps us away from the influence of material force, maya, whereas karmas keeps us away from the Lord and keeps us close to maya. So, for us to get rid of our karmas, the Lord's lotus feet are the only means. For that, one must perform bhakti. One may ask, so all those who are performing bhakti, all the devotees, are they totally free of fear and anger? Answer is no, not all. But there are many who are free of fear and anger. The rest of them are in the right path, practicing bhakti to become fearless, to become free of anger. We can say that they are in training period. Let's summarize. If karma defines one's swabhava, one's nature, to be fearful or to be angry or to be in anxiety, then how can one change it? Answer we saw, yes, it can be changed. Otherwise, the Shastras will be of no use. The scriptures will not advise us something which cannot be done. Then, of two types of karmas, niyata karma and aniyata karma, niyata karmas cannot be changed, whereas aniyata karmas, under which our swabhava falls into, can be changed. Then we saw our nature is based on the gunas, and these gunas are set by our karmas, and also the same karma sets the level of our knowledge and a level of our ignorance. On top of all this, our karma does not take away our free will. The choice to make decisions is still with us. But certainly, that decision-making point is driven in what mode we fall into. If we are in mode of goodness, our decisions will be in mode of goodness. If we are in a given point in mode of passion, and the decision that we take at that point will be in the mode of passion. That means we have to make use of the time where we are predominantly in Sattva Guna. When we utilize that period to the max, then our Sattva Guna increases and Rajoguna and Tamoguna will reduce. And the things that we must do to increase our Sattva Guna is to be in the association of saintly people, in the association of devotees, to take up some devotional services at the temple, and regularly hear Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Ramayana, and then daily chant the name of the Lord. As Srimad Bhagavatam concludes, stating, Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam Pranamo Dukkha Samanaha Tam Namami Harim Param. By offering our prayers, by surrendering unto the Lord, through the process of chanting His holy names, one can destroy all sinful reactions and become free, relieved from all material sufferings. So let's take shelter of Krishna and Krishna's holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and kick off the fear from us and all other unwanted emotions, anger, anxiety, greed, lust, hatred, attachment, and so forth. Back to the short answer. Yes, we can change our character, even if it is set by our karma. Thank you. Hare Krishna.